Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's going to be a cracker of a Sydney winter's morning. As you can see, there's hardly any cloud on the horizon. The horizon is pinking up in this beautiful crimsony, purpley colour. I guess the video doesn't quite show the beauty of this sunrise in anticipation, but it is absolutely glorious. Anyway, I've been offline for a while. I haven't done a 5am club for over a month now, but I have been building up my inventory of stories and of book summaries, and I'll start to reveal them over the next month or two. Just like everything in our lives, we go in ebbs and flows. There are days that we're motivated to do things, and there are other days where we don't have as much motivation. But I'm back, and I'm back with a vengeance, and I'm well on my way now to hitting my 1500 target, and hopefully get to 2,000 blogs at some point in time. The book summary that I'm going to go through today is entitled The Invincible Company by an author named Alexander Osterwalder. And whilst I'm waiting here at the overseas passenger terminal, I'm kind of hoping that one of the big ocean liners will come back and head back this morning. There you go, mate. So here we are on this beautiful morning. It's quiet, it's still. You can actually feel the first instances of spring starting to materialise. It was only last week when I was working on a site up at Willoughby that I saw a crow, a massive black crow, flying through the air with some twigs in its mouth, and it flew to the very, very top of this magnificent gum tree. And when it reached there, I realised that it was nesting, and it was building a massive nest in preparation for spring. So it just goes to show that the birds from instinct can tell that we're virtually halfway through springtime, and we're at the best end of winter, where we start to prepare and get ready for the beautiful warmer months ahead. So the book here, The Invincible Company, is a book which focuses on corporate behaviour and corporate success. And the author kicks off with a quote where he says that companies should focus on one of three value disciplines. And the first one is operational excellence, the second one is product leadership, and the third one is customer intimacy. And what the author is suggesting is that by focusing on these key principles, or one of these key principles, is enough to make you stand out in a crowded market, and is enough to help you build a platform for sustained future success. And the author says that staying relevant is a really tough thing, as there are many internal and external factors that can bring a corporation down. I think over the years I've been very fortunate to have worked for a number of monoliths, a number of awesome organisations such as IBM, NCR, Allens, the legal firm, Telstra, for example, as well, who are organisations that have stood the test of time. So the author here says that if you can work for an organisation that has survived 100 years, then you're with an organisation that is pretty special, because to be able to survive the ebb and flow of internal and external factors is a big thing, and it's getting harder and harder as the competition increases, and there are massive changes and disturbances that are felt by businesses because of the technological changes. So as the author said here, we need to focus on our core components of business in order to succeed. And it's important, of course, to adapt and adopt to the changing winds, but you first need to be able to execute the basic principles. So execution is really important, and you also need to be able to innovate and experiment. So the author will go into these different points and try and build a picture, build a story to help us move forward. So it's all about execution, it's all about survival, and it's all about focusing on one of three principles. The author then goes on to talk about the two different portfolios that you need to manage within a business context. Something which is really interesting, and he says that there are two core portfolios that a successful company should possess. And the author refers to the explore and the exploit portfolios. So what are these two portfolios? What is the explore and what is the exploit portfolio? And he says that the explore portfolio focuses on innovation, research, development, experimentation, and all of those sorts of things. The ability to create ideas and to foster and generate opportunity and future benefits in the form of and in relation, I should be saying, to risks. And this requires one to focus on return on investment. So it encourages us to look forward, to innovate, to change, and to become better at what we do. On the other side of the ledger, the author talks about the exploit portfolio, which focuses on strengthening the core operational aspects of one's business, looking at the strengths, the weaknesses, identifying them and appreciating them and leveraging them as best one can. So the author says that it's not sufficient to be good at one. It's not enough just to be good at the explore, but you're also got to be good at the exploit. So you need to be on the lookout and, I guess, working to stay relevant and to experiment and to innovate. But you need to be really good at executing those things internally as well. And each of these teams need to have different skills, but of course they need to be able to collaborate and cooperate between each other rather than to fight and to create negative vibes. And I've worked for many organisations where, regardless of how good the organisation is, if there's internal fighting, if there's internal politics, then it creates a toxic work environment which can't really foster anything. So I guess the message to each and every one of us is don't fear your competition. Your biggest competition is your own organisation. And if you can work and collaborate and cooperate internally and execute on your goals and on your tasks, you can go a long way in a world that is dysfunctional, because who knows, your competition could look good on the outside, could have a great image, but when it comes to executing, when it comes to delivering, they could be constipated by politics and people who just get in each other's way. So the next point that the author makes is about the Explore portfolio. And he says that the Explore portfolio needs to be under continuous surveillance to generate desired returns. You need to have design and test loop, a powerful design and test loop with research and development that generates ideas, it generates prototypes which are tested and improved and experimented with, and you need to continue that. You need to continue to experiment, you need to continue to improve and to generate more and more ideas in order to stay relevant and to, create a compelling future for yourself and your customers and clients. The last point that the author talks about is a thing called a business model canvas, where he says that it can help you improve. And the business model canvas is made up of three key points. There's a front part of the canvas, the back side of the canvas, and as well as the cost and revenue considerations. So the front side of the business model canvas are the customers, your channels, the external part of the business, your market, all of those sorts of things, the things that you need to address. The back side of the canvas are your products, your services, your resources, your stakeholders, the technology that underpins everything. And of course, you've got your cost and revenue considerations. The revenue considerations come from having different products, from the pricing decisions, the discounting decisions that you make, knowing very well that when you discount your product, you actually need to sell a lot more product to make back the profitability and the margin that you've given up. And you also have cost considerations. Now, you can't cut your costs to profitability, because by cutting costs, there are first, second and third level consequences. It impacts the quality of your product. It impacts lots of things. So there's a lot of, science and art that goes into your cost and your revenue side of the business, but you need to have those considerations front of mind in order to manage and maintain your position and to help you project a better position going forward. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm just going to head off to work now, but it is a delight kicking off the week down here at Circular Quay on such a beautiful winter's morning. As I can say, I think we're over the hump and we're heading now slowly but surely to springtime. Now, I'm sure we're going to have a few more cold snaps, but today, for the first time in a while, I feel as if we've crossed that threshold, and it starts to smell, feel and taste like springtime will be here. And it's only about 6 weeks away anyway, so we're well on our way to another spring, God willing. Anyway, take care, have a great rest of the week, Have a great Monday, and I look forward to chatting to you again. Yassas, bye for now from Jim on Jim's 5am Club on this magnificent, absolutely magnificent Sydney winter's morning. Bye for now. Yassas. Ciao.